Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, League of Legends fans, one and all. It's Thursday night, and that means that it's Mythical, it's Hummus, it's Go Farino, and Go Farino tonight is, well, one, it's the first game
Mhm.
overall of Fall 2024 Risen, but two, it's the first game of Fall 2024 Mythical. How are you feeling tonight?
Uh, Kind of been sick all day, so that's fun. Well, sick the entire week, more or less. But yeah, should be getting into it here tonight. I think both the teams are getting ready here soon for us. We haven't got the draft poll just quite yet. We should be hopping on in soon, especially since we started an extra minute or two late.
Indeed, indeed. First cast means that there's always a little bit of technical hiccups. We will have two teams for you tonight coming out of Group B. Sorry, Division 2. We're calling them divisions in Mythical because we're fancy. Gonna be Dorado Gaming versus XG Riders. Dorado Gaming on the blue side, and we were talking a little bit in the pre-show. XGR had side select, so they opted for red side tonight. So as we head towards that draft, we're going to be looking at the critical round 5 pick. And it's it's good. It's good to be back. Excited to be back. And it feels like not too long ago you and I standing here casting mythical finals for summer. As we head into this new split, anything you're looking forward to?
Uh, just to see how things shake up here, because now Mythical is our highest tier league here at Risen. Champions has been retired for now at least. So no uncapped league, or basically uncapped league, but capped out of technicality. And we're getting right into it here. Dorado Gaming will be on the blue side here. There will be some new faces on the board. I haven't been turbo keeping up with the meta, but I do know that the Ivern has been pretty strong here, has been making quite the splash, so that's going to be taken off the board. Just for a reminder for the viewers at home, we are still running it back here with the partial fearless. So if you remember how it worked last season, it works the same as this season. You won't be able to use the same champion twice, but the other team can still use said champion.
In best of threes tonight, as we will be for the entirety of the regular season. A couple more bands coming out across the board. Gwen and Ziggs, both very big in the meta right now as well. Worlds starting on Wednesday of next week, finishing up America's Challengers right now, means that we have had a lot of opportunity to see what the pros or tier 2 pros are viewing as meta here. Ari, the ban, always a goodie. And I will say, Go Farino, I'm surprised to see the Belveth ban. I haven't looked at these teams too much. I'm wondering if you know if that's a targeted ban at the XGR jungler.
I guess it's a targeted ban yet. We have seen some Belveth here and there. Um, I haven't been able to look at these teams too thoroughly because LP.GG just wasn't loading for me, and so yeah, that was fun. Either way, we have finished off all the bans here. Important thing to note, unlike the last bit of the summer split here, not seeing a lot of AP junglers or solo lane ADCs banned away. We'll see if that's still pro. I kind of doubt it. Jinx gonna be locked in here. Doing well, you know. Yeah.
I don't think Jinx has done badly in a while. Just the get excited and the ability to hyper carry those late game team fights until they nerf that passive. I don't think her prio will really change. The answer going to be the Kaisa, theoretically, will be the Kaisa. Who do you want to see paired in with that Kaisa?
Uh, like I say, you kind of always just have to pair her with hard engaged support that has a lot of CC. Nautilus/Leona are the classic ones. Alistar is another option. The Rel as well, you know. If it's got a bunch of CC on multiple abilities, it lets you proc the Plasma more easily. It lets you just dash on in with that Prey Seeker ultimate. Just have a good time. Of course, that means Dorado Gaming's bot lane can build um, much more defensive here. Go for the hard peel. Enchanters did get some slight systematic buffs this patch or next patch. I can't remember which. Can look to go for that and just play pure disengage in the bot lane and outscale. Or you could just lock in the blind Darius top.
Darius, not a top laner I've seen in a while in competitive play. Also not, I think, and feel free and correct me if I'm wrong as always, Go Farina, but I don't think Darius is the best top laner to blind.
Yeah, typically, because you do see Darius sparingly in competitive, very much so as a counter pick, and it is a little comp dependent because you do have to build around it. You do have to expect because the Darius does not typically take teleport in the top lane. We have seen a few Dariuses take the teleport, but typically it is going to be the Flash Ghost. You want the lane dominance. But when you pick it this early, it means you're very vulnerable to getting counter picks. So Dorado Gaming gonna have to be confident with that locking in the top side and hope it doesn't get hard countered.
Indeed, indeed. Jin Zhao in the jungle. Alistar got locked in, presumably in support. I am assuming Jin Zhao in the jungle. What's interesting to me is you and I are operating on the assumption that Darius was a blind top laner. I do believe he goes jungle. At least I've seen it happen. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's what we're going to see.
I
But
had
what's
Dilson in
interesting.
a game yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Actually, it's like a game earlier this week, but yeah. Yeah, one of my first flex queue games of the split, and I had a Darius jungle that did not really do a lot. I know it has like a very fast clear speed. The problem is you're just so dependent on the ghost or your lanes to set up to gank, because it's kind of hard to get in a range to apprehend people.
Indeed, indeed. But assuming that this isn't your flex Q game, Go for Reno, and assuming that this is indeed the Darius top, what intrigues me is why we went for the Jin Zhao jungle and didn't pick a top laner. It would make, in my mind, more sense to pick what you know and then save the jungler. Is Jin Zhao really that high on the prio list these days?
Um, I don't know, because he's always had a place in the meta here. We can see two other bands here, the Sejuani and Maokai. The Sejuani to me has been a higher prio right now. I guess XGR just wants to lock that on in right now to have some extra dueling power / priority in the jungle, since Shinzao definitely can't do that. You can see Dorado, they're using both their bans here in the second phase to take away top laners, even though you have a very favorable matchup against the Malphite. Of course, the Malphite can just hard counter a lot of the rest of your team. The Mundo as the answer, I'm not entirely sure. You do have a strong early game as well, but you are also pretty vulnerable here.
Indeed. Going to be the Kennen locked in instead. Do you like that one a little bit better?
You have the range at least. You just have to play super careful as the cannon, because if you ever get in range to get apprehended, you're not going to have a good time, and you don't have the high skill threat. It does exist once you have the Vengeful Maelstrom. It just can be a little bit tricky if you don't get the stuns off on the Darius, because the bleed stacks up and the next thing you know you get ulted and you're kind of dead. It's going to be a little tricky here for the cannon, but if you're able to use your range and just see us from afar, it should be hunky-dory.
Well, we will see how that develops. The Wukong gonna get locked in, presumably in the jungle. Means that we're waiting on a mid laner. Going to be the Syndra locked in there. And if my calculus is correct, this is going to be a round 5 mid lane counter pick. Who counters Syndra that you would like to see?
Um, Not entirely sure, because Syndra is a scaling champion. If you really want to put the pressure on her early, you can try and do that, but you already have the Shinzao in the jungle. Can try and match it with some scaling. The Galio would be interesting. That is very strong engage follow-up with the ultimate there. You're able to just dash on in, but you are going to need someone to lead the charge. Thankfully, though, for the X-Gamer squad here, they do have quite a bit of engage. Everyone on their team does want to go in here, so they will be able to ferry in that Galio.
Indeed, indeed. We have our first draft locked in. It's a new split. It's new teams, new hopes, new dreams. And Go for Reno, it's still going to be the same old question. You know what I always ask you. I think coming out of draft, we've got two interesting team comps. Who do you think is going to take it coming out of draft?
I'm feeling XGR here a little. The Shinzao will be able to apply a lot of pressure early over the Wukong. Should be able to hopefully neutralize this top lane matchup. And it has a very clear identity of just going Unga Bunga on in, threatening this Jinx, threatening this Syndra in the backline. Of course, though, they do have to be careful. This is a comp where if you fall behind and you're not able to just go in and instantly pop the backline, things can, of course, get hairy.
Indeed, indeed. As we get towards Summoner draft here, we're gonna start seeing the names of these players. Dorado Gaming, actually a team, an organization I'm familiar with coming out of summer because I worked for a different league that had them in it. I'm curious because you've been here a lot longer than I have, Go Farino. Any of these names that you recognize that you're super excited to see?
Uh, let's see, familiar names. Hypnotic Viper rings a bell. Scruff Ninja, maybe. Um, Riddy, I know that name. And nothing else rings a bell off the top of my head. Of course, players also change their names a lot, especially this elo. It's very annoying to keep track of. I hope we implemented that rule I complained about on stream where players can't name change for the duration of season. Make things very easy for us.
It's League of Legends players. They never want to make things easy on their casters. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, them and the client. Mostly the client. Okay. We are locking in things here. Everything's going about where we expected. So really looking to Riddy here as the Shinzao. You have a lot of early paths you can do if you want to go for a quick clear into a gank, or just go for a full clear, then look to skirmish. You definitely can make things happen here, and you have all your lanes just set up for you as well. Combine that with some roams here from Improvise as this Rel. Could be very nasty here in the early game for XGR.
well, I hope that, because you highlighted how XGR Grim in that top lane was going to have a little bit of a rough time potentially into the Darius. So obviously, like you said, we're going to be looking for Riddy to carry the top lane through the early game. My question to you is that theoretically means that he's going to be prioritizing the top side, obviously. Can this Kaiser Rel hold their own into the Jinx Alistar and be able to, as you mentioned with this comp, get ahead, get what they need to be able to execute without necessarily that jungle attention?
It's definitely doable since you should have the stronger all in early on, even though Kaisa does take a little bit of time herself to skill on up. If you're just able to rapid proc the passive in those trades slash all ins, you can do a deceptive amount of damage early with that plasma. Just have to be careful. And of course, Arch will outrange you here as this Jinx in lane, so that is another issue. But play careful enough, because it is the Wukong jungle. Not the most potent early ganks. Would be set up by Alistar, but you get a little bit of extra leeway.
And as we see the summoners hit the board accurately enough, Darius running Ghost Flash, not teleport that we normally see. Cleanses on both ADCs. Bless you? I'm not sure if those were sneezes.
Lord.
If they
Yeah.
were sneezes, I bless you. If not,
Those are coughs. But not
okay.
the cough I've been having all day. I just swallowed something down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, that happens. Supports Alistar running the Exhaust.
Yeah.
Improvise on the route, running the Ignite. Any surprises in these summoners, Go Farino?
Not really, no. Bit of a personal preference if you want to here in the spot lane. Exhaust gonna be helpful against just super all-in comp. Just exhaust the big nuke that is barreling towards you. That would have been nice here if you're going for this all-ins, but you can just play the scaling game here with the Jinx.
Indeed, indeed. With that, we've got about 2 minutes of spectator delay. So we are going to take a little break, wet our whistles without having it go down the wrong pipe this time.
Okay.
It's when we come back, it'll be game one of the fall split. And this kind of sets the momentum for the entire season, it feels like. So with that, you're not going to want to miss it. Don't go anywhere. Go Farino, and I will be right back.
And they say I have a grim sense of humor.
welcome onto the Rift for the first time in the fall. We're excited to be here, and well, we have a little bit of a tweak on the top scoreboard. It kind of doesn't exist. We will roll with it. You're going to roll with us. It's going to be wonderful. And go for Reno, as we're seeing the 5-point setups here, we are noticing, if you will with me, the rel on the top side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, could be looking to do some counter and bait stuff here in case anything funny happens. Back up your top laner, back up your jungler. Don't think they're going to push in here, especially with this current positioning. Would be interesting to see a two-person invade, though, a late invade of the jungler plus support. Yeah, wouldn't see that every day. Nope. And Viper, are you going to ward? That's a warding behavior. Hey, there we go.
Oh, early vision, always good. And might that be the pings are coming out? I'm curious. We are gonna go for it. The
Alright.
Oracle lens. Okay. All right. I believe they're not gonna find anything.
Viper top side.
Yeah, no, they're
All right. I'm expecting it's gonna be vertical jungling here because Kartrana and Improvise probably are gonna be spotted out by this. They're gonna fake the fact that they leashed, but I think the jig might be a little bit up.
see. I mean, they did leash, just in a completely different quadrant. We will see where Hypnotic Viper goes as he continues clearing his camps. For right now, he's all heading towards the Wolves as Riddy cleans out those Raptors. And in the bot lane, it's a poke fest already.
Yep. L-Star, level 1, not exactly champ. Oh, level 2 now. Bada bing, bada boom. And it's going to be counted here. Still level 1 and actually going to force out the flash here from Hoshiumi. Interesting. This didn't have the Aftershock available there. And it wasn't called out. So Hypnotic Viper is pathing towards their bot side, noticing it's very empty right now. I want to see how these junglers are pathing.
Well, is have the pings coming out, so Hypnotic Viper are gonna go for the early gank in the mid lane, but in the bot lane, the flash is improvised. Riddy finds it. Oh, the ignite gonna be given to Kartana there, and first blood to the Kaisa.
Yep, we're adjusting. Enjoy the Pioneer League of Legends there for a split second. And in the end, it will be the vertical jungling. You can see the two timers over top each other. It's a lot of fun. Hey, there we go. Yeah, gotta adjust some things on the fly. You can test all the things you want, but you'll still get baboomed by OBS and your various setups, no matter what on game day. But hey, XG Rider's gonna be happy with that. They're able to get first blood, and it goes on to Kartana as well. Help him snowball a little in this lane.
Indeed, indeed. Scruff getting the early poke onto the Galio. We were expecting that. That's kind of the range versus more melee matchup there for Sluter. And now the pings, Improvise and Riddy, both heading towards the mid lane. Gonna spot out Hypnotic. Gonna be a whole lot of staring at each other menacingly here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there shouldn't be too much kill threat made here for Scruff. You're still scaling champion. And Galio kind of just is able to take quite the beating from these mages. Although, good roam up from the bot lane here on both sides.
Improvise, Sluter falling down about a third health. The taunt, the damage, the stun, the airborne. Exhaust doesn't matter. Improvise will kill Hoshiumi. And that's now an 0-2 cow.
Yeah, very squashy here for Hoshiumi. Hoshiumi? Not sure. Oh, I'm gonna flash out here in the top side. Goes pop. This should be an easy kill.
Indeed. We were a little bit worried about how that top lane was going to work out for Kennen. And, you know, it's 9 CS, but it's a first back. That's what we're going to view it as. We're going to view it as a tactical death for a reset time.
Yeah, something like that. Gonna force out the teleport here, and being without flash as Grim is going to royally suck in this lane. Thankfully for you, you are kind of winning on the other side of the map here, especially in the bot side, since 1-0 as the ADC. It'd be nice to have here. As the Kaisa push on in, get some pressure. Not going to convert to a dragon just quite yet because Riddy wants to kind of look mid a little for a bit of evade. Surprised they aren't turning onto the dragon here, but they might not know where Viper is.
Potentially not. The question mark pings are going to go down on improvise. Notably, Kartana, yes, the kill, but also with as much roaming as that Rel's been doing, a little bit of solo XP there. I mean, she will hit 6 faster than the Jinx counterpart. And as we say that, the first 6 of the game comes out on Sluter, Grim, and Fire come in not too far behind. Means we've got ultimates on the board for this dragon. Gonna be dragon taken by Riddy and Grubs by Viper.
There's a little bit of extra waiting here since Grubs do spawn at 6. Gonna be the global trade. Securing the dragon to get yourself some extra scaling. Gonna be nice here for XG riders. Ocean Dragon especially, if you're like Grim and in this sort of brutal lane. Just that little bit of extra regen if you happen to take a bad trade. Very handy to have.
Always continuing the vertical jungling is going to be Riddy on the Krugs. We'll get spotted out on the ward, but we'll also clear out the ward. And a little bit of roaming from Scruff down there kind of gave Sluter a free reign over that lane for a little bit there. And hey, look, it's a Wukong on the opposite side. These junglers are going to go up and down all game long. Go Frino.
You saw Riddy in your own jungle there. You knew Riddy was on the bot side because, of course, the dragon was taken. More vertical jungling coming out.
Ooh, Hex Flash, stun, cleansed away immediately by Arch. Still take about a third of that health bar and pop a summoner for it. Kartana and Improvise are looking spicy down there.
No, Grim? Okay, Grim avoids it for now. I'm looking. Okay, Hypnotic Viper just takes 6 here. They will be spotted on a ward if they go for this top lane. However, Grim without the flash here, it is going to be very rough. Oh yeah, you can see Viper just chilling over the wall.
Waiting, lurking, that dirty ape. Anyway, might not be able to get a whole lot going. Does have the control ward in the bush, but will get spotted out by the river ward. There goes Grim, the stun, the slicing maelstrom. Finding damage will not be enough. Final kill awarded over to Fire on the Darius, putting him up to 2-0 on the game.
Good pathing there by Fireflans. Just hang out in the brushes. Make Grim have to push up a little too far without that flash, and next thing you know, it's too late. When you see the Darius behind you, you know it's kind of doomed. And see if the snowball can continue here in this top side, especially the Merc trade's completed now. Fireflans will have a much easier time staying on top of this cannon, if that wasn't already easy enough.
Indeed. The next recall coming out from Fire, but Improvise starting up on Arch. The damage, woo, getting rewarded with the flash. That's both of Arch's summoners, but now Kartana exhausted, slowed. Improvise being a phenomenal body shield for those Jinx rockets means that it's a spicy trade of a cleanse and exhaust and a flash.
Getting out the flash here from Arch. Gonna be a big deal here next time you go for that all-in. Not wanting to fully commit though. The damage was adding up. Arch is level 6, has a super mega death rocket. They might have enough mana to just press that one button, but realistically they don't have enough mana to finish off this trade. And if I'm Dorado, I'm looking to shove this on in and just back. Of course we have Fireflans in the brush here. Trying to recall, trying to set up something.
Didn't even notice him creep on up there. He walked. Does give Grim the ability to even up the CS and the levels in that top lane. However, well, he's 0-2, still going to be down probably about 600 gold across the board as we go there. So, I mean, if there's a time to roam, I think it was then for Fire. Ooh.
Come back to lane. Has the Phage. Tier 2 boots. You know. Get back there just in time. Doesn't look like you'll miss too much CS into the turret. Keeping a gold lead here on the top side. I don't think you think it would be higher. About an extra 150, but hey.
Gold across the teams, completely dead even. Unsurprisingly, Fire ahead. Also completely unsurprisingly, Kartana ahead on that Kaisa. Has a kill. That's what you get. And here comes Hypnotic Viper. and Hushimi just to really seal the deal. Sluter still has the flash as well. Improvise the Magma Storm. Ooh. The burn.
We'll contact the baby.
Yeah, it was close. It was close on that ignite there.
So in the end, you are going to lose a flash for an ignite. Almost get the kill. Pushing it into tower still at least. Doesn't look like you'll be able to get the perfect recall on off with all these members of the XG Riders in the mid lane. Yeah, it's just a bit of a party.
And it's an 11-minute long party, and we're still dead even. Both these teams fighting for any lead, any advantage they can get, and it starts. Improvise, Riddy, Cortana collapsing. We'll get rewarded with the flash for Hoshuimi, and should be able to convert that, unless I much miss my guess, into the second dragon of the game, the Chemtech dragon.
Yep, got Prio in the mid lane here. Got decent Prio in the bot lane. And enemy jungler's topside. Does mean you are giving up 6 grubs, though. That is not going to be a good thing to face if the Jinx ever gets to hit turrets. And, of course, Fireflan's going to be split pushing quite a bit, as is Darius. Not like you can do too much, though. You're already on bot side here. That's where you have the Prio. You don't really want to hard force top right now and get this Darius snowballing even harder.
Indeed, we will have an Infernal Soul on the Rift. And we will have Rudy going to get spotted out on the ward, so they will see the turret dive coming, but it's invested. Galio coming in as well, making it a 4 for 2. Arch has no shot. Hoshuimi, tanky running. Taunting, good damage. Rudy falling low, will not quite go down, and Cortana will get rewarded with that second kill. It took a couple ults, but that is a 2-for in the bot lane.
Might have a gank at the top side, though. Viper is once again hanging out by the Tribrush wall here. This time, though, Grim does have flash and ultimate. Oh, Seraph is coming up towards that top side.
Gruff was heading up there, got pinged out just a little bit. Grim opted to recall, probably concerned about the collapse of 3 onto him. And look at that XGR vision in the bot jungle here. Hoshuimi going to be able to clear some of it out, but I'm counting 3 or 4 wards there from them. Oracle Lens is going to come in handy and be able to clear out most of it, though.
Clear out the 2 by there. Won't be able to clear the one behind pit. There is that control ward as well. And the river entrance. Yeah, things will be calm on the map for a bit here. We have Herald in about a minute's time right now. That's the next objective that'll be on the map. After that, you've got 3 minutes till the third dragon of the game. And could just take a chill pill for now.
Ooh, they're looking for the dive. Scatter the Weak will hit, but the stun, Scruff flashing away. Riddy flashing in. Sluter getting on the board. Riddy gonna get shielded. Hoshuimi. Riddy's falling low. Needs to be careful. Hypnotic Viper. Mega Death Rocket will go wide. Hypnotic Viper, and in comes Cortana. Sluter gets the second one. Riddy hanging out in the back for moral support going, I'm low, but you got this, guys. And got this they do. 13.5 minutes, they're going to look to convert that into a couple of turret plates and extend that gold lead they have just a smidge.
Just a smidge here, but right now, both your bot and mid are winning. You're also ahead in the jungle. It's really just the top lane. And I don't think Fireflames is going to be enough of an X factor here to even out the difference in these fights right now. No. Because, okay, look. Because the Darius, who's the only real soul threat, runs in and kind of gets focused.
Just a little bit. The taunt. Scruff gonna get bouncy housed. That's a 3-0 Sluter. Welcome to the game. And it's a penguin with a top hat emote coming out.
The Pingo. That's a good one. I have that one. I think you got that one if you had already bought like a emote before they decreased the price. I forget. It might have been a drop somewhere else as well. But I use that. I spam it a lot. This is my most spammed by recently, the NRG cooked emote. I've also been using that about as much.
Yeah, those are good ones. Those are... See, we're getting into collegiate play here. And I'm a little frustrated because collegiate play doesn't let you use emotes, like, at all. And it's like, but there is the art to the good emote in League of Legends. Like, you pull something off, you want to pull out the Pengu. Speaking of pulling something off, gonna spot out the control ward. Sluter coming around looking for something. Hypnotic Viper getting caught a little bit in between turrets. Archer Shuimi collapsing.
They're not bad.
Crescent guard, in comes that. Hypnotic Viper will find the first kill onto Riddy, will die to improvise for it, and we've got a full team fight as the top laners show up. Here comes Fire, finding one. Scruff will go down to Sluter. Fire on the back line onto improvise, double. Looking for more. Grim running away, gonna get a little bit of slow down. Super Mega Death Rocket will pull him low. Fire, not quite gonna be able to find it. Will be a 2-4-3. Make that a 2-for-4. I don't think Sluter gets out of this one alive.
Nope. It looked like a decent setup there from XG Riders, but it was caught out by Dorado Gaming. They had all their members there as well. Took way too long. Fireflame's just able to come on into that fight and go to Reset City. It's the first play by XGR that does fall flat on its face. Bad timing too. That is right over the dragon, so that is going to be a nice surge of gold into Dorado Gaming's back pockets here for them to load up.
100% Rift is on the map. We've got Fire and Scruff circling around it. Hypnotic up there as well. Their dragon also about to be up on the map. It means that we could see yet another trade of those top-bottom objectives. I say that as Hypnotic clears a little bit of vision. And they're going Rift, and they're going Dragon, and we're just going to continue the status quo on jungle objectives here.
It's kind of dangerous here. I don't want to be handing over Soul Point this early on. Even if you do outscale here with the Syndra plus Jinx as Dorado. You know, don't want to be dealing with that in front. That's for damn sure. See if they can do it. The first turret has just been taken. So it's not like you can get first turret with the Herald here, but you can just bring it on top here and maybe just get a fat charge on in. Maybe just hold on to it for now.
Maybe gonna hold on to it as Fire does the recall. Vertical jungling. Happy Bee comes out for both of the laners as the first turret for XGR gets taken. They're holding on to about a 700 gold lead here, and at 17.5 minutes in, that's kind of negligible across the board. Go for Reno.
Have to be careful though. Riddy's
gonna
be caught out here.
Maybe getting the engage, improvise. Everybody's flashing over that wall to stun. Oh, Kaisa fall, and that's going to be a hard hit. Riddy on there. Meanwhile, topside, Grim finds Arch. Arch kind of missing everybody there. Riddy running away on the hunt for 3, but if they're not careful, they'll run into Grim and Sluter. Not sure that is a fight that you want to take. Going to be the ADCs getting traded across the board.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody else from XG Riders died. Hold that thought. Okay. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody else died here. It was looking pretty doomed. And it is that trade of 1-for-1. But once again, XGR kind of just caught out in the enemy jungle. They're trying to make something happen. Overextend just too much.
Board, though, still even. I mean, I guess if you're going to get caught out overextended, might as well catch them out overextended. You know, like, there's something to be said for that, I think. What I do want to highlight is that is a 5-0 Darius, who has 6 grubs if he opts to split push, and has an item, almost 2 items basically. Probably will have 2 items on this back. That's kind of a scary force to have on the Rift if you're XGR. There's the Sterix, yeah.
Very hard to bust on it through. I might have just overstayed this turret. Improvise, get out. They don't have flash.
Nope, gonna just kind of hop you over the wall there. You have 3. It's kind of an embarrassment that that turret still standing. Scatter the weak will hit. Improvise the sacrificial lamb. And, I mean, it takes 5, but here comes Shelly. Fluter hiding in a bush. Is gonna get found out there. And who's gonna charge the Rift Herald in? Nobody! It'll charge itself. That works! Hex Flash coming out from Hushuimi means that they're going to engage under that turret. Scatter their weak will land. Galio coming in, but Riddy falling low. Say hello to Sluter. Say hello to the Rift Herald. A second big bonk onto that tier 2 turret. Super Mega Death Rocket goes wide of everything. And Scruff, board on his way out.
Pretty low there. Doesn't die in at the end. Nobody really dies there in at the end. Could be looking for something here. low mana here on the Arch-Jinx. And Hoshiumi at about half health does have the Unbreakable Will, so hard to burst. Things definitely slipping away here a little bit for XG Riders. And a little cutout here and there. Saw it in the enemy jungle, the enemy bot lane. Now, kind of almost at their own turrets here, feels like. See if they're able to hold on here, because this would be a very early soul if they're able to grab it on spawn. I think Dorado Gaming will have something to say.
Baron is up as well, so not that I think this would happen, but there is always the discussion of trading Soul for Baron. Not a good trade for the team that gets Baron there, but you never know. It could happen. Will be Infernal Soul on the Rift in just over a minute. And the recall is going to start coming out there for the items. We are seeing item completions coming across for Sluter and Kartana. And I believe that's enough oomph that Cortana has 1 or 2 of her abilities upgraded now.
100%, yeah. It's enough attack damage and enough attack speed. Could maybe see the triple evolution here if you want to, but you have double AP Soul Laner, so I wouldn't hard commit to it. No, but whatever works here. Yeah, everybody just kind of setting up here for Dragon. XG Riders not pushing in too far, though. They've only really pushed up towards the entrance of their jungle with this vision, and they're really just setting up more towards the Baron right now. Interesting enough, you can hard force it if you bring him into you. That's going to be pretty nice for the team that happens to have a Cannon plus Rel.
Meanwhile, Kennen taking that turret, should be able to secure it. So many pings coming out on the map. That's how we know that we are about to get our second team fight of the game here. 22 minutes in, we've got Soul Point, we've got Baron, and they're starting out hard trying to force that Baron there. Will get spotted out, though.
I see the other members going down to Dragon right now, and they just go back onto it. This might kind of work here. You have Hypnotic Viper in the area, but Hypnotic Viper spotted out.
We'll see. Grim on the flank, finding Hypnotic Viper, slicing Maelstrom. Kartana gets rewarded with the kill. Meanwhile, Fire finding the Infernal Drake means that Soul Point will be taken off the board for another 5 minutes. That means that there are no distractions. It's Baron in the sights of XGR. Let's see what these guys have to say about it. Improvise going to get spotted out. Baron down to about half. Gruff, Scatter the Weak will land. Improvise, Super Mega Death Rocket will find itself. Sluter coming in hard. Baron getting peeled away from Fire. The taunt, Sluter, the engage. Fired about half. Scatter the Weak will land as well. Grim, Bouncy House down. Fire goes godlike and keeps going. Double kill, looking for more. Will get the shutdown to Kartana, who will fall to Hoshiumi. Means across the board, it's a, I think 2 for 4 there, and a Dorado Gaming Baron, or at least it should be. They don't take it fast, but everybody else is kind of down for 20 seconds.
XG Riders, they just did not get through that Baron in any meaningful action there. You think they would have taken it quicker? You have a Shinzao, you have a Kaisa, but they just were not going through it. Could still see a contest here. There is no jungler just quite yet. Oh wait, no.
Sluter looking to get there. Okay, Hypnotic will find it. Bouncy House, Scruff, Arc running away. Hoshiumi is gonna get picked off on the flank by Grim. And, well, Clone's gonna fall. Arc falling low, slicing Maelstrom will fall. Double kill to Grim. Hypnotic Viper trying to run away. Will get that little boost of speed from the Cinder. That's still 3, 4. Hypnotic's the only person with a Baron still left on the team after that take.
Every other member dropping, so it's gonna be hard to make use of this. Can you win the 1 versus 4? It's gonna be hard. You do have Hypnotic Viper here, does have the ulti.
Is under turret. Fire finds the first one. You don't want to take this, y'all. He's 9-1. All right.
Oh, it does stall at the Baron some more, I guess. And they did not expect Hypnotic Viper to be there already, I guess.
I guess not. Thought they could maybe burst Fire down a little bit more. Jack Show gonna get completed for that. Darius Grim did find the top turret, means that all of the Dorado Gaming Tier 1 turrets are gone. And y'all, 25 minutes into this game, we are within 400 gold of each other on these teams. What a way to start off this fall season with a really, really close match.
It's going to be telling what happens here in the next few minutes at the next dragon. Because it feels like XGR, they just haven't been able to win the team fights here despite having the hard engaged comp. Everyone just seems to be getting blown up. Nobody seems to be able to cut through fire plans here in quick enough fashion. Might have a bit of danger.
Looter getting caught out. Here, one getting hit by the super Baron minions there. Radiant Sluter trying to keep it alive. Will not be able to pull that off. And as the push continues, might be a 4-for-4. Grim. Oh, hello there, Scruff. Scatter the weak will hit. Slicing Maelstrom will come out. It's the battle of the damage, and Grim will take it as he goes on a killing spree and has a tier 2 turret in his sights.
Yeah, Seraph thought they were being cheeky there. They thought they had the flank. Nope. All right, well, 1 for 1. Maybe not. 3-talent strike does not land. Here comes the heroic entrance.
And as we continue, Hypnotic Viper on the engage. This is a bouncy house, and there's the Airborne. Hypnotic Viper, the first to fall to improvise. Kartana cleaning up the back lane, but there's fire. Falling below half, Sterix will proc ready. Woo! Kartana finding that shut down there as well. Going to be the not quite clean, but really good ace to XGR. Finally finding that team fight victory. And Soul's up in 45 seconds.
Yep. Big fight dub there for XGR. They're able to pick off some members there one by one, even though Fire Flames was able to get a reset there. Enough CC was left over to keep that Darius in a place. Enough damage was left over to take him on down in that 2 versus 4. Gonna be a big momentum swing here. You will have all hands on deck, of course, for this next dragon, but some of the members are spawning just a little bit before it happens to pop up on the rift, so they might not be there in time if it starts immediately. But the other big issue is it means that XGR, how about just push up a lot of vision here? Make you have
out of the weak finding on a Kartana. Super Magra Death Rocket gonna go wide. If they're gonna take this dragon, they should really do it before Fire gets there, and he is on his way. The teleport's coming in, Sluter coming in, Grim is gonna be on that flank. Dragon gonna get started up. Dorado Gaming. We're staring menacingly at each other. Grim still on the flank, still not spotted out, I don't believe. We'll finally come on to vision on the flank, and there's the slicing Maelstrom hitting 3. Grim finds Scruff. Hypnotic the next to fall, and it's just brutal. In comes the hero's entrance as well. Fire. Woo! We'll find one. Bouncy House looking for more. Mostly healed up off of that one. Second one. Grim low enough if they can get the threshold. The Jinx Rocket's putting in the work. Fire. Oh, cooldown will not have hit. There's 3. Aw. Arch stole the 4, but there's basically the return ace for Dorado. Grim low will be able to get the recall off. Dorado not going for the dragon, though.
Just looking to get the inhib here. Further that on up. It looked like a good dragon, too, for XG Riders. It's just the flank didn't perfectly pan out. Arch was able to get out of range from that Vengeful Maelstrom, was able to survive the initial burst. And just able to keep free firing, get the Jinx resets, and Fire Flames was just too tanky for them to finish off there.
Yeah. I am a little intrigued by the lack of a dragon take, just because they don't get the turret, they don't get the inhibitor, and it is still sole point for XG Riders. Infernal, the damage would be helpful. Granted, they can take it here, but it's going to be a lot more contested than it would have been 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Because about a minute ago now. Oh, apprehend over the wall. This is a bit of a baboom.
Pretty. Starting off with the Crescent Guard. Slicing Maelstrom coming around, getting caught behind the wall. Fire Flames goes on a rampage as he finds one, but will get bursted down. Sluter finding that. On the back line, Scruff and Arch putting in the work as they find 2 more. Woo! It is Grim running for his life. 4 members of Dorado left standing. Fire. Oh! Scatter of the Week. Grim goes golden. Super Mega Death Rocket will go through his body, but it does not matter. There's the ace with 4 members. Who needs soul when you can claim the Nexus at 30 minutes in?
And another good start to the fight there by Dorado Gaming. Get the apprehend over the wall. Beautiful Scout of the Week by Scruff there. Seraph. Oops, not Scruff. To just stun up all those members and secure the game here. The lead from top just kind of really snowballed over. XG Riders had some fumbles there in the mid game when it came to just setting up some overly aggressive plays in the bot side. They just weren't able to take the fights.
Indeed. And with that said, though, it was a very close game going through across the board. Obviously, Grim actually doing quite solidly on the cannon, all things considered. Did get out KDA'd quite considerably by Fire, but that doesn't take anything away from Grim. Across the board, it was a fairly close game. We should have that post-game breakdown up here in a second. And what I'm most intrigued to see is the gold graph. There it is. When I say even, I mean even. Look at that.
Only a 5k lead there at the end after that last team fight. Definitely neck and neck here, even though it felt like at different points of this game, both teams kind of had the momentum lead. In the end, though, gonna favor Dorado Gaming. They close this one on out, put themselves on that match point here.
Indeed. Week 1 of 5 means that every game, every win is pivotal. Dorado's starting off strong, but XG obviously still has a chance to take us to a game 3. As a reminder for all the fans at home, we are in Fearless. So the good news, if you're an XG Riders fan, is you will not have to see Fire's Darius again. That will be banned out. Go for Reno. Do you have any other closing thoughts on game number 1 here?
Yeah, the cannon pick into Darius was definitely very rough. Yeah, hopefully you don't kind of baboom yourself like that again. But hey, yeah, we'll see going into next game here. So don't go anywhere, everybody. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time here with game number 2. See if XG Riders are able to bring this one back, or if Dorado Gaming just take a clean 2-0 tonight.
Welcome back. It's week 1 of Mythical, and it is game number 2. Dorado Gaming leading the series 1-0. XG Riders opting to stay on the red side. See if they can have a perhaps better pick than that Syndra. Not that Syndra was bad, it's game changing. Bans coming out. We are in Fearless, which means if a team has played a champion, they cannot play it again. And that also most likely means we're going to see these same bans. Lilia going to get thrown into the mix of the first 3 bans for Dorado, but everything else across the board will be the same. We're back and it's draft, and it's a Ziggs.
Yeah. Ziggs has been popping up quite a bit in the bot lane. Part of it is with all the ADCs mid that were happening, but also you're just able to hard push in that bot lane, get some early leads, matches up pretty decently into a lot of the scaling ADCs right now, because you just shove them under turn and make their life a living hell. Seraphine, I have seen a few of these.
Boy.
Seraphine Nautilus is not a combo I've seen in the bot lane. I don't think it's going mid. We haven't seen really too much Seraphine mid in quite some time, really. Been very hard focus in the bot, whether it is the support or the carry role is always an option.
Boy. That's what I'm going to settle with is, oh boy. The Leona going to get picked up and paired with the Ziggs. Means that just a little bit in, we should have both bot lanes locked in. Obviously, there's the option for Seraphine to flex mid. I doubt we'll see it. Honestly, I've seen Seraphine APC more than I've seen her support, and definitely more than I've seen her mid in recent games. J4 gonna get picked up in the jungle. Gonna be opposed, by the Kindred.
Kindred will very heavily outscale the J4. And J4 does kind of fall off a cliff late game. You go in, if you're behind, you cataclysm and then instantly die. If you're ahead, maybe you survive a little longer. But you are picking up for the early game here. You have it with the Ziggs as well. So right now, Dorado Gaming definitely geared towards the early to mid game. The Seraphine post Kindred already going to be a very big scaling menace here. At least if that's the gold scaling Seraphine. I'm expecting it to be. Hey, we've seen wackier.
Certainly have Renekton gonna kick off this second round of bans here. And as we wait for it to tick over, we are looking for mid laners and top laners. Yone gonna get banned away. Mordekaiser gonna get hit. Hitting some of the classics here. Mordekaiser, Yone, both really classic picks.
Wonder what the prio is going to be here, because both teams need their solo laners. Of course, Ziggs and Seraphine technically flexible mid, so we'll see. Only really APA though has been playing with Ziggs mid. I don't think any other team has been bringing it on now. Of course, things are different here in the Mythic League. It's not always the most one-to-one with the meta. There are much more comfort picks here. Cassante gonna be the blind pick for top lane right now before he gets the new set next patch. I saw one meme saying playing Cassante is like TFT since you get a new set / rework every few months. Pretty blindable. Can be punished. One of the bigger counters. The Gwen has been taken off the board. Still, you want to really go in for a counter? Vayne top is available.
Oh, main top. Now there's an idea. Orianna gonna get picked mid, theoretically. I'm a huge fan of Vayne top. If we know my gameplay is I'm not a top laner, but when I do, I play the Teemos and Heimerdingers and Vaynes of the world. I'm that kind of top laner. The concern I would see with a Vayne top lane here, yes, it counters Cassante, gonna be the Garen locked in instead, and then the Akali to round us off. I have a concern for Dorado Gaming, which is you don't really have a true tank. I mean, Nautilus can go tanky, Cassante can go tanky and has the all out. So I'm a little concerned about Dorado Gaming's ability to survive in these team fights.
Yeah, my concern is, especially if Franz is not able to win top lane here as this Garen, you're a very huge, just double AP comp threat here, and that is very easy to itemize against. Just got some Merc Treads, got some MMR. Sure, you know, you'll still be able to pop the Kindred, you'll still be able to pop the Seraphine. But the other members, maybe not so much here. Can be a bit of an issue. See if you're able to command the same lead in top lane this time around here, Buckaroo.
See, Garen, Darius, kind of two peas in a pod, have that big sword executing ulti. Okay, granted, Darius is an axe, but regardless. And as we head to this, we should be getting into client side draft here. How are you liking these drafts against each other?
I already voiced my main concern with the Dorado game and composition, where if you don't have fire ahead in top lane, it can be very easy to itemize against you. On the opposite side here, my biggest concern is you don't have the biggest consistent damage threat as well. It's just going to be Riddy in the jungle. And I'm curious how this comp is going to come together, because it's going to be the gold scaling Seraphine. That is going to be a lot of extra juice here for your Kindred. But if Riddy just gets put behind here, if you get invaded, if you're not able to get those marks, it is going to be a huge issue here when it comes to team fights.
Oh, you've voiced your concerns. I mean, there are always concerns in every draft, yes. What's the winning play here coming out of both of these comps?
Our gaming, definitely aiming for an early lead here. You have the J4 who can go for those super early ganks. You have the pushing power in the bot side. You have the winning lane in the top side here. And on the opposite side for XG Riders, it's definitely going to be a bit of a scaling game here. You have some pretty decent backline threat here, but you want to get Riddy juiced up here. You want to make sure that you're just able to keep this Kindred powered on up here to shred through everybody. It's going to be your main damage source.
All right, we'll see which team can execute better. But coming out of game one, Go Farino, who do you put your confidence in for all those people waiting for his thing before you vote? Because I think we're doing voting tonight. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, we didn't have a vote for game number one.
I thought
Otherwise, we
did.
would have seen quite a few points thrown around. Oh, we did have? All right. Okay, we did have a channel vote for game number one. I just
Well, we
didn't
need a
see
channel
it.
vote for game number two if
True.
production's working on it. We love production. We love Caddy. Caddy is
Yeah.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So how about before the prediction goes out, you make your prediction, Go Farino. No points on the line.
Mhm.
No digital gambling.
Yeah. Kind of favoring Dorado Gaming here. If they're able to get the early lead here, Hypnotic Viper just has to be able to put in the work. If Arch and Hoshiumi are able to win in that bot side, can be a pretty big deal here for just setting up control over the map.
30 seconds before summoners hit the map here. Go Farino has said his piece, and I know I'm just a play-by-play, but in a different life, I'm a color. So I think my main concern, my eyes are going to be in that bot lane. You know, you mentioned Arch on a Ziggs can make ADC's lives a living hell. So we're going to be looking for him to pull that off. And I have my concerns about the Seraphine Nautilus. I think you mentioned it, it's not a typical pairing. I personally don't love Seraphine APC in the first place. There's a place for not 100% sure on that with that. Summoner's going to hit the board here. Got 3 ignites taken. Seraphine running the teleport in the bot lane, and Garen running the ignite in the top lane. Any surprises for you on those ones?
No, not at all. Maybe a cleanse here for the Seraphine or Ziggs, maybe if you want, but teleport is the go-to for a reason. And yeah.
All right, with that, we've heard what Go Farino has to say and predict. You can vote now with your channel points, so do it. Our producer worked very hard to get that set up. When we come back, we'll be on the Rift for game number 2, where we will find out if Dorado Gaming really are those dogs and can clinch us 2-0 tonight. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back. We're on the Rift for game number 2. And this will decide whether or not Dorado Gaming seals the series 2-0 or whether XG can send us to game number 3. Nautilus popping the mastery emotes already and waiting for that fist bump.
Nothing too much happening here, although we did see a bit of a late invade last time around and something similar happening this time. Just for vision, though. Everyone's just gonna saunter back, allegedly.
It's a Nautilus. You do gotta watch out for those hooks there to come out, but you know, we want to start off a little bit slower, then that's a-okay with me.
Yeah, and nothing fishy happening.
That's because there's no fizz on the map. Okay, I was expecting at least a chuckle for that one. I thought that one was pretty good. We are looking for a little bit, potentially, of a late...
Not again. No way they get away with it twice. No, this time around, Hypnotic Viper is there. Could see first blood from this. This isn't spotted. Gotta look for the big hook.
The flash, the root, the stun, the engage, the first blood to Riddy.
Alright. Works even better this time. You just get the first blood there. Does cost flash to ignite, but hey, you'll take that. Also means Hypnotic Viper is going to be on quite a large back foot here. It's 2 minutes on the clock, and they're only just getting out of base now. You're not getting that camp. I don't know if Riddy got a mark off of that. Because typically as a Kindred, for your first mark, you'll place it on the enemy jungler in case you happen to run into them in a 2v2. Plus also, you know, if you mark someone in a lane, it's just kind of screaming like, hey buddy, I'm gonna get you.
Very, very accurate. See, I'm at a low enough elo where they actually do just put it on. I'm like, all right, now I need to be a little bit careful. Same with the Warwick scent thingy that he does. It goes to the nearest person.
The
Warwick
scent thingy is automatic, but yeah.
Well, it is if you're below, but you can also turn it on and it still pops the little icon up above your head.
Okay, I thought you meant when you're like low. I'm like, yeah, that happens, but...
I mean, yeah, it does. I was talking about the activated where it just kind of screams, there is a wolf coming at you. Regardless, fire. We're going to get something started early here underneath turret. Going to find Riddy walking towards him. Get down about half, and it looks like Riddy's next mark, or maybe the first one, no, is out on Ziggs at this point.
Yep, because Fire Flames was looking to proxy there. After that red was taken, you kind of just expect, all right, Riddy might just be looking for the vertical jungle here, but instead Riddy goes the cross map here. Fire
and now they're looking for the engage onto Riddy. Or at least the red buff still. This would be a way to get Hypnotic back kind of where he needs to be. And here comes Sluter 2 for 2. 3 against 2. The airborne Riddy flashing, burning. Hypnotic finds the kill. Sluter gonna be able to get out of there. Leona coming up as well means that they have 4 members on this top side up here.
That's a little bit of a head scratcher there. Sluter and Riddy just going way too early. You saw Grim kind of pathing around for a flank there, but it's just those two squishies there. You get hit by the Flag and Dread combo. There's an Ignite here coming out from Fireflans. You just give over a free kill there. You give over the red. I don't know, because things were looking pretty good. You stopped the aggression in top side. Sure, you have to give up that red buff there, but you still cleared out the rest of your top side. So you would have still had the CS lead.
And now you don't. Kindred actually about a camp behind on that CS there. Does have the pickaxe, of course, because when you die, you get to back. So that's something there. But, yeah, Hushimi.
Here's the collapse.
Going in, the Zenith Blade collapsing 3. Riddy will fall again to Hypnotic. Improvise. Dredge Lightning out of there. The root, the ignite, Hushimi burning, flashing, dying to Kartana, but here comes Arch on the Ziggs. Hypnotic goes on a killing spree. Gruff finds 1. The flash, Kartana will get a double there. All right, Kartana evening it up a little bit, will end up going, I believe, 2 for 1 in that fight.
2 for 2.
Okay.
Both supports die there. Saw Hypnotic Viper finally drop a Hypnotic Viper, despite giving up first blood and having that super rough first clear, turned around. You were on a killing spree there. Gave up a shutdown when you did drop. Bree, though, thought they had the schmooze there, was pushing up there with Improvise, but kind of got caught out there. You have to give up quite a bit there for all that to happen.
100%. Dorado Gaming rewarded with about a 5 gold lead at 5.5 minutes in here. Chemtech Drake, the first Drake of the game, will be spawned onto the Rift. Grub's going to be coming up in about 13 seconds, give or take. And Grim hits 6 first on the Rift, means we're going to start seeing those ultimates come out, and we're going to start getting a little bit spicier.
See what happens as a result of that. Dragon, okay, was indeed started up, committed here. G Riders right on top of it here. Decently early Dragon. I'll take it. Will be traded for the Grubbies though. Possibly. Hypnotic Viper using the area.
Let's send out the vision there. Alright, not going to be quite the same timer trade that we saw game 1, but still will be traded away successfully there. And I mean, Ziggs plus 6 grubs, if we get there in about 5 minutes time, is going to be a little bit scary.
Although, technically as Ziggs, you don't need grubs as much in some senses because you just kind of execute the turrets. Really does help you get to that execution point, so scary nonetheless. Especially with a split pushing Garen here, Fire Flames going for the Tiamat first. Not something I've seen too much on the Garen. So I think I typically still see the Cleaver or
Dredge Line. Fushimi, stun. A whole lot. I thought it was Stridebreaker first on Garen these days.
Oh yeah, that too.
Which I don't think Tiamat builds into. Does it?
No.
I don't know.
I think it might have used to at some point, but it doesn't.
I don't know my top lane item paths very well. Clearly, it's all right. We'll figure it. We will see where Fire goes with this. We will be watching along with everybody else. Meanwhile, Hypnotic coming in, flag and drag, airborne up. Whoop, doop, 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 doop. The airborne re-engage off of Scruff. Pengu won't find a Sluter, but putting some damage down there, being a little threatening.
Interesting, Hypnotic Viper didn't commit the Cataclysm there. Because Sluter does not have flash, would have the perfect execution now. Maybe. Either way, forcing out the Cully from lane, gonna get you a nice back off here in the mid, or just a nice wave state here. Not gonna be the back for Scruff. Gonna be farming on up here, keeping a 20 CS lead at this point. Feeling nice.
Fire able to secure 2 turret plates to his name. First 2 that have gone down. Means that with that and a 10 CS gold lead, he's going to be sitting pretty on about a 300 gold lead, I do believe, if my math is right. 1,500 the difference up to Dorado Gaming, means that they're kind of up across the board here. Go Farino.
Yep, and those early plays to punish some of the plays from Riddy there, helping inch out this small lead here. Not to mention that CS mid lane and top lane flag and drag Cataclysm.
Ooh, Kartana gonna get caught out, bursted down, but in goes the Lamb's Respite to try and save him. A whole bunch of people down as the Lamb's Respite falls. Kartana will burn to death. Fushimi rewarded with that kill. Fushimi caught in the middle of 2. Is there a dredge line? There is not a dredge line to come back out. Means that Kartana will be the only one to fall.
It was pretty close there, Riddy, with the flash Lamb's Respite. It looked good, but there was still an ignite on Hoshiumi to finish on off that Seraphine. Not to mention a stray bouncing bomb from Arch. Helped seal the deal as well. Have yourself another kill here for Dorado Gaming and further this lead just a little bit more.
Fire, Roman. Not gonna find a whole lot, but he's Roman.
Oh Lord, what is falling over on my windowsill? That's twice now I've heard something just kind of like fall over a little. Not sure
it
what's
could be a
happening.
bug.
Wind from outside.
As Gopherino worries about his windowsill, we do have the gold difference up for you. Across the board, the kind of everybody's up on their lane opponent. The notable one is Hypnotic Viper being 1,000 up on Riddy. And if production can give us a stacks check on Riddy, that would be lovely. I don't know if that's a thing that we can do. But it would be nice to know where she's at, because has had that Ziggs stack for what seems like forever.
Alrighty, I guess it was the wind who's shuffling around my heavy currents. 2 hunts completed. Kind of tragic. Because I think the first hunt was taken from the invade.
Ooh,
Flash.
Scruff flashing, dredge lining in. Okay. Suspect there'd be a little bit more damage that happened coming out of all of that, if I'm being quite honest. Did get the flash, will make it easier for repeat ganks, but Gruff still at about 3/4 health means that he's not too worried about it.
Being flashless, though, can be very spooky here if there happens to be another Nautilus roam. Gotta watch out for that. Or if there happens to be action here around the dragon spawning in seconds' time.
Maybe Grubs are going to get taken. Going to give Hypnotic Viper the full 6 for Dorado Gaming yet again. And was that... I think that was the Mega Inferno Bomb I saw just kind of fly across the bot side of the map. Not 100% sure on that one.
It's on cooldown right now.
Yeah. Okay, so it totally was.
Yeah,
Interesting.
Rank 1 though. Very low cooldown, all things considered. All out.
Fire, flashing away, gonna get caught up. Grim will find the solo bolo in the top side. Little bit of revenge for game number 1 is down 20 CS, notably still. Riddy completing that first item. It's a Bork. And second Drake up on the map, and Dorado Gaming did finish those 6 grubs.
Yeah, they weren't able to pivot towards that dragon here. It was going to be notable. At least you get that solo kill in the top lane. Cassante moment, you just go all out. You're able to do so much, kind of just dumb things here. Fireflans needs to be able to get that silence on off, needs to be able to get the full spin on down. Even when you all out, decent amount of resists left over, despite losing 75% of them. Gank happening in the bot side? Gank not happening on the bot side.
Looks like it's going to be the Cloud Dragon started up by XG Riders on the top side of the map. Fire's looking for Grim, looking for revenge. Ignite will fall, Silence will land. Out goes the Spinny. Grim should be able to get under turret. Dorado Gaming has control. The flash, the smite, the steal by Riddy. Oh, Hypnotic Viper smite was down. Lamb's Respite gonna go down in the middle of the pit while we continue to fight this out. Mega Inferno Bomb will fall. Riddy will get ignited and finally fall to Hoshiimi. Sluter getting caught in the middle of the pit as well means an easy pickup for Arch. Hoshiimi continuing to chase.
Oh my, no way.
Still alive. The Cataclysm improvised flashing away, but Hypnotic Viper continuing is burning. And oh, so close. Kartana slivers away from getting that almost ace for Dorado Gaming. Puts them up 3,000 gold.
Yeah, able to grab 3 kills. They're not grabbing the dragon, does suck. But it is only the second dragon of the game, thankfully. It's not the sole point. You still have 6 scrubs. You still have the general overall lead here. See if you can continue that on here. Dorado Gaming, a lot of gold with that. Should be able to pick up some more here with some stray plates that they grabbed off the back end of it. Not anymore. It is 14 minutes, but okay.
Fire and Hoshiimi waiting in a bush, and that's one dead Kindred. Fire gets rewarded the kill, and now Grim walking the 3 of them will go all out. Will find something. Sluter coming in support. Going to be a 2v3. Fire below, and here comes Hypnotic. 3 engaging onto Sluter. You're not Kali. You're not tanky enough for this. Whoa! Flashing away from the solar flare. Lead him on a merry little chase through the jungle. Should be able to get out just okay. That will be a Dorado Gaming Rift Herald.
And an extra kill to boot. We'll see if that's responded to in kind in the bot lane. Flash on out. Gonna keep Arch safe for now. One of the things with Seraphine, even when you're building full AP, not the largest amount of burst here. Especially when you are sitting on just a tier and the Blackfire Torch.
Indeed, dredge lining away from the Nautilus. Rift Herald does get secured there, and if you're XG Riders, this is looking a little sketchy right about now.
Yeah, and also, Tiamat does still, in fact, build into Stridebreaker. Thought they removed it. Okay. Cool. See what Dorado can do with this lead right now. 4K, sizable for this point of the game. Not a game-ending one.
Looking for
further it here, if the
Spluter.
Solar Flare lands, would be very deep. Yeah, not want to overcommit to that one.
Good restraint on that one. Can obviously still get punished on the overextend, even if you are 2-1-5. Yeah, that's a 2-5 Leona. There are scarier things on the Rift right about now. And we'll have Dragon up in 2 minutes time. Grim coming out of a bush looking for Scruff. That's a squishy champion. The all out gonna get popped.
Timing.
Scruff looking for it. Flashing. Mega Inferno Bomb falls. Hoshuimi and Hypnotic here. Grim gonna have to back away. Not quite able to get Scruff.
Scruff has to use Flash. Great timing on the all out there as well to avoid the Shockwave knockback. It's forcing out the Flash. Ooh. Lance Respite and Flash are up here already. That is a lot of damage.
Hoshuimi, Hypnotic, Dredgeline gonna miss
Teleport.
things. Flag, drag, engage, improvise. In comes Scruff off the teleport, and that's just a dead Nautilus getting kind of thrown to the wolves there.
Whoop. Free little kill. You do commit a teleport for that, so that is going to be one chunk less of the global pressure. And it was Scruff's teleport as well. One of the members you are going side laning here. Suck not having that, but free kill. Herald charging on in, that's going to guarantee the Zig Satchel kills it. Ba-boom. There you go.
I love the sound effects. Was not... No, that totally was the first turret that got taken there. Extending the Dorado lead up about 5,000 at this point. And, you know, it's 18 minutes in. It's not an insurmountable lead. It's just not insignificant either.
It's very noticeable here, and they're going to enjoy that. They're going to be fighting over this next dragon, I believe, from XG Riders. It's going to be a tough one to really face here. You're still missing a full item on Kartana. Very rough. Right, no, that's the Blackfire Torch completed, right? I was mixing it up with the OP jungle item, so you at least have a completed item there. Gonna be hard to contest this though, and that's not gonna be the call whatsoever here from XG Riders. Just recognizing, yeah, we can give over a free dragon here. It's the first one of the game for the enemy team. No biggie.
Indeed. 5 minutes time, we will see the next dragon come up. We are on Ocean Soul this game. And Sluter versus Scruff in the mid lane. And excuse me, in the bot lane. They're the mid laners down in the bot lane. And Fire is going to get poked out a little bit by the turret. And, okay. Curious a little bit what the angle on this is trying to be. Scruff pushing into turret. That's a fairly obvious angle, though. Going to be looking to claim that tier 1 bot side turret. And with this wave, it should be able to do it, especially with Arch coming in support.
Yep, don't even need the execute there. Finish off the turret. We have 6 grubs. And Sluter, as is the call, is 0-2 and 2. Right now only has the Lich Bane. Some decent threat, but not a ton. And you're going to get very heavily outwave cleared in this side lane matchup.
A little bit. As we tick over towards 20 minutes, Baron will be on the Rift in just about 30 seconds time. And not that I think they'll take it on spawn, but Dorado Gaming is on that side of the map.
Yep, don't think we're going to see anything too much happen out of that. Some vision set up. Try and look to take this last outer turret here. Further your control of the map. And yeah, should just be a little bit of chill.
We get to see the epic Baron spawn. So rarely do we get to see that on timer. And is Hoshuimi just like emoting in the jungle? Are those just the like animations? Totally. Totally is. Alright. I guess it works. And you know, I think we said we weren't gonna see Baron on spawn, but they do have everybody up there, so we might see an attempt at a Baron take here from one of these teams.
Yes, what I'm gonna do. I think the call right now is to dive.
Grim, turret will go down. Grim all outing, Arch over the wall, getting some good damage down. Dredgeline coming in on the side. The engage Cataclysm goes down. Fire Flans finds Grim, and the Lamb's Respite goes out, but it's a 5v2 with that teleport coming in. Riddy, Hoshuimi will fall. Hoshuimi getting the kill. Improvise falling. That should probably just be a free Baron for Dorado Gaming, up 7,000 gold at 21 minutes in, and Sluter needs to be careful. Are they gonna get caught out? I have questions.
I think there might have been some DC issues there.
Potentially.
That kind of looked like Sluter had like a bit of an internet drop there.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, kind of a little obvious.
And I mean, to the credit of Scruff and Hashuimi opting to not continue that kill, recognizing what you did, that the disconnect came through. Good damage, but not a kill. So gotta give that to Dorado Gaming. They are gentlemen. Sounds like it was a quick disconnect as we're back in the game, just in time to watch Baron Nashor fall at 21.5 minutes.
Objectify is available soon. Kind of a bit of a landslide right now for Dorado Gaming. They're looking to start off the season 2-0. XG Riders, they're going to have to really find some momentum here. Find some picks to stall this on out. You do still have the scaling advantage here, thanks to Kindred for Riddy. Combine that with the juice of Cortana. But when you fall behind, this comp isn't really going to have too much damage, I feel.
Kindred does scale, yes, but it's a 1 in 5 Riddy. Maybe soon to be 1 in 6 if Hoshuimi has anything to say about it. The engage Improvise getting left on that side of the wall. Fire Flans goes on a rampage. Solar Flare will miss, but Riddy falling below half. Hoshuimi flashing over the wall. Riddy will fall to Scruff on the killing spree, bailing out fire there. And now they're looking for more. Hypnotic gonna get rooted up, not gonna be able to keep that going. But, you know, couple more kills and just a little bit more space on the map to push these waves with Baron.
Yeah, just another free pickup here for Dorado Gaming. Baron when you have 6 grubs and a Ziggs. Pretty good. Pretty damn good.
A little bit of an understatement. Everybody's starting to push this bot side here. And, I mean, we'll see what Grim can do, but I don't think it's going to be a whole lot there. Notably on Arch's Ziggs, only 1 0 and 8. Kind of disappointing there's not more kills on that. I mean, when he supports 3 1 and 9. But, you know, it's doing its job. Dragon on the map in 8 seconds. Improvise. Dredgelining. Hypnotic Viper. Opting. Teleport coming in from Cortana. I'm gonna see. Turret will stay standing. Arch gonna put out the poke damage. And they're gonna opt for that dragon.
Just grab that on up. Do want to see Dorado Gaming push this Baron in a little bit more. Try and break over the base, especially with the lead they have right now. That's the start. Casual 7 level difference between Improvise and Fire Flans. That is the life of an engaged support when you fall behind.
Yeah, just a little bit. Fire, looking for Sluter. Dredgeline gonna go just a little bit wide. Sluter flashing ignited. Half health already. It ain't looking good for Sluter, gonna be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, this Ollie just hasn't really been able to have the impact here. Had a lot of roams and ganks just come their way. Teleport coming on out here from Sluter. Nog Viper is in the base. Can they get in range? The home guard boost and
I like what we're seeing here. Well, for Dorado Gaming anyway. And now I kind of got to ask you, you talked a little bit about it earlier, but how does XG Riders get back into this game?
It's gonna have to come down to picks here. It's gonna have to come down to Ready being able to scale up here. Like, being 1.5 items is not what you want to be at, right? It's very brutal, because you realistically don't have the best damage threat here. You have decent engage. You have some existent wave clear. But you're just not able to do anything right now into Dorado Gaming when they hard push in with that Baron. So you're just gonna have to find some picks here. Maybe you get a solo kill in a side lane, you know, maybe you're able to find a cheeky 2v1.
Baron has expired. Seraphine, the Encore gonna go wide. It was an attempt. And at this point, when you're 10,000 gold down, you gotta start making the attempts. Fire Hypnotic. Get the damage onto that turret. Sluter's standing there, but Sluter can't do a darn thing. And there's the top one. No, excuse me. Tier 2 falling to Ziggs? Yeah. Grim able to secure the objective bounty on that tier 1 turret. Only the second turret XG Riders has taken all game long.
Yep. It's at least some gold. You gotta reject the bounty, but it's rough.
Yeah, I think you're putting it a little nicely on that one. Third item completion coming out for Hypnotic Viper on the Jarvan, going to be the Frozen Heart. Third item's coming out for Arch. Third item should be coming out for Scruff on the next back as well, which we see coming out. And if I've learned anything about watching two needlessly large rods, is they almost always become a hat. And there's the hat.
Yep. It's a lot of damage. 3-0 and 6, gonna be kind of popping some fools.
Yeah, just a little bit. We will see how this progresses, but 11k the gold, 28 minutes, flag drag, Cataclysm, Katana flashing, getting flashed on, engaging. Kartana will fall. The woohoo! Flash, Demacian Justice will find the second one. Baron spawning on the map.
Baron spawning on the map. Nothing much the enemy team can really do here. And it's just up to Dorado Gaming to see how just bring this one on home.
And, you know, last game was so close that we were looking for, like, that one team fight that made a difference, right? Like, it was the one team fight that respawn timers long enough, it could change the game. Dorado got that. They took it. Shout out to them. This game, even if XG Riders managed to find a team fight and win it, I don't think they win off the backs of it. Like, they are so far down and have so much left to go that Dorado Game is going to have to really throw to lose this one, I'm afraid.
Yeah, or we're going to have to see a miracle play come out. There's the Solar Flare. Big catch.
Ooh, Grimm's silenced as well. Arch finds one. Cataclysm on the back line. Scruff finds two. Improvise will fall, as will the turret. Sluter left all alone into 4. Will find one. Sluter, first kill of the game as the inhibitor falls. Running away, but we're celebrating that. The game is lost. Dorado Gaming will go, but Sluter got a kill, ladies and gentlemen. And as the second Nexus turret falls, down goes the Nexus, and all Riddy can do is watch.
Nope. 88 panning? Okay.
All Riddy can do is watch the game end up going down in flames. 21-5, the final kill scoreline there. We will get the post-game breakdown in a minute.
God.
Hey, new split of Mythical, but it's still the same thing. Go Farina's camera freezes. We love it.
Yeah, I'm
It
not sure
would.
why. Something takes control over my camera, and I don't know what it is, because it's not Discord, it's not anything else. But
It wouldn't
yeah,
be a cast
much
with
more.
you if your camera didn't freeze.
Yeah. Yeah, just have to unplug and replug. Okay, but much more dominant game this time around, much more one-sided. Last time, you know, things were within shouting distance throughout most of the game. But this time around, once we got to the early stages of that mid game.
Indeed, indeed. And I mean, Dorado Gaming took what was a close game in the first one and made it kind of like a stomp in the second one. And they are off to a 1-0 start on this split here. And with only 5 weeks of the regular season, it kind of really matters that you started off 1-0. XG Riders, by far, not out of the playoffs. I think they have a lot to learn and a lot to work on heading towards next week. Speaking of next week, Go for Reno. I don't know if it will be you and I standing here, but we're gonna have another best of 3 match next week. I don't know what it'll be, but before we get that direction, what are your thoughts on the end of game 2 and the end of this series?
Great start to the season if you are Dorado. If you're XD, XG. Okay, I got it mixed up there because people are spamming XD in the chat, and my friend DM'd me XD. But XG Riders, not the best start to say the least here, and they're gonna have to tighten things up. They have some good early games. We saw how they're able to keep things together in that game number 1, but probably just work on some of the calls there because time and time again we saw they go for aggressive plays and it kind of just backfires on them.
Yeah, a little bit. There is a time and a place for aggressive plays. They can get you ahead, but I do think need to bring that in a little bit heading into their match next week. XG Riders will be facing the University of Michigan JV squad next week, actually. Excited to see how that one plays out. But Go for Reno, do you have anything else tonight, or should I just send us on out here?
Should just send us on out here. I don't think our other leagues have started up just quite yet. I
They do,
think they're starting
actually.
soon. We did have the draft draw, but it might be another week or two until those get officially started.
We're starting this weekend. They are running us on a tight
Cool.
schedule to dodge the holidays.
Yeah, you
We've
kind of have
got
to.
Yeah, you kind of do. At this rate, we're only ending in like early December. We Draft League starts next week, so that one hasn't gone yet. So no Risen action for you tomorrow night. Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. On this stream right here, you will have Unstoppable. On stream number 2, you will have yours truly with the other person I almost always cast with, Ice Fire. I'm going to be on Rampage for that one. And then Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, we will have Dominant Action. So plenty more Risen action for you coming out this week. But for tonight, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for supporting, for voting, for doing all of that. I had a good time. I think Go for Reno had a good time. We basically always do. Caddy, we'd love to give a huge shout out to him on production. Keeps us running smoothly. And from all of us here at Risen, thank you so much for joining us. Stay safe, and we will see you all on the streams on Saturday.